Hi, I'm Dr. Pinky Khatri, and I'm an audiologist and entrepreneur, a children's book author, and a passionate mindfulness advocate. I've been asked many times about why and how I got into the mindfulness space. Today, I would like to share my personal story with you. My journey into mindfulness began around 2022. Post COVID, I was seeing a lot of tension and anxiety, not just with my patients and staff, but at home as well. And I was juggling a lot. I was managing a practice with my schedule, the staff schedule, and raising 3 kids. And I knew I needed some tools to stay grounded myself. And the more I started digging into the mindfulness journey, the more I was completely blown away by the amount of research there is and evidence there is from neurologists and neuropsychologists. And they have studied this so well, and it demonstrated how these practices could help. So since then, I've fully immersed myself in this space. When I started the Mindful Professional channel, I wanted to bring a unique perspective, my experience as a professional, a business owner, and crucially, my perspective related to hearing and auditory processing. So I grew up having auditory processing difficulties, and over 30 years ago, that was simply the term didn't exist. Nobody knew what that is. And especially the rural part of India where I was growing up, I just knew I was different. And this impacted how I performed in school. So throughout middle school, I was called different names. I was told I wasn't good for anything. The teachers didn't think I would make it to high school. And I remember often that I would just mentally check out of my classes and I just would doze off in the back bench. And inevitably, I would be grounded, kneeling outside the principal's office for many days. So over time, the chaos faded as I moved into university, because audiology it was a small department. I went from a class of say 30, 40 children to now only 10 or 12 of us in the class, and with less background noise, less chaos, and a bit of preferential seating, I was able to thrive. I completely forgot about my childhood struggles until I started looking at auditory processing disorders as a service that we could offer at my office. So finally, there was a label for what I had experienced during my childhood. And I was like, okay, and then now that I knew, and I dabbled into some auditory training for some time, but life went well for the most part. I was successful as a professional, as a business owner. And looking back, things really started falling apart when my oldest child went to school, when he started school. And both home life, office life became overwhelming around the same time. And for the last few years, I've been racking my brain trying to figure out where there's the chaos and the staff turnover, the revenue fluctuations, and processes breaking down. And finally the breaking point came when my twins started school, and that month was incredibly chaotic, and I ended up having a nervous breakdown. And thankfully my wonderful business coach, she's helped me process things internally. So instead of looking out for answers and saying, okay, what else can I change? Who do I hire? Who do I fire? What processes do I change? She actually helped me turn inward and ask, is there a chaos happening in my heart that is being reflected in the chaos around me? And I slowly started realizing and connecting two and two together. And I worked through some of these issues using the mindfulness strategies she has taught me. And I realized that I had spent my entire adult life working incredibly hard to prove my worth, driven by these childhood memories of being called stupid, not good enough. And I realized that I had allowed these negative voices that I heard around me to shape the person I had become. Now, looking back at how far I've come professionally and and successfully, I had to stop myself and give myself permission and had to say, okay, there's really nothing to prove. All those names that I was called back then was because of lack of their knowledge and not because I was dumb. And the voices had shaped me, but I'm so much more than what I've heard inside my head and from all the people around me as I was growing up. And so even though I've had normal hearing, these processing abilities highlighted a profound truth. I was like, okay, I realized my patients with hearing loss might be experiencing something similar too. And they're constantly being told that, didn't you just hear what I say? Do you even have your hearing aids in? These hearing aids you just got, are they really doing something? Are you still not able to hear me? And why are you not participating? So all these external voices combined with the internal ones that they're likely feeling that maybe they're not good enough, maybe they're too dumb to participate in group conversations. I once had a patient tell me, I used to be a successful event coordinator, and I would throw events with people from all industries, especially like politicians and stuff, and I would be very confident. And now just to go for a bingo game at my retirement community, I feel like I feel too dumb. What if I miss it? And and they slowly started to kind of isolate himself. And so I realized that we shape ourselves and we become what we hear, both literally and figuratively. And through this channel and the programs I'm working on, I want to show our patients, practitioners, business owners, that we're so much more than what we hear. A lot of chaos we see on the outside might be a projection of what's happening on the inside. So mindfulness helps us look within and address the internal state. I want to help both practitioners and business owners prevent burnout, to be more present, and to become successful in the work they do and with their lives. And so stay tuned. We have a lot of great content lined up. Some short sessions where you can regroup between patients, whether you have a minute, 5 minutes. And this is intended to be a safe space for you. And if you are somebody who's experiencing hearing loss, again, this is a safe space for you to hold for yourself and to process the emotions, to be present, and then confidently go out and connect with your friends and family at a deeper level. Thank you for watching. We'll see you soon again.